retreat, you got to really open those hips up to sit for that long. You know, if you're sitting 10, 12 hours a day, you've got to be really, really well lubed in different parts of your body. So this is what it'll be. That's what we'll get to. Okay, so Maha Mudra. It's by His Holiness the First Panchen Lama, and this is it's actually quite famous. It's an auto commentary entitled Light of the Crystal Clarity. In Tibetan, it's Yangsel Drume. It was translated and taught to us by Lama Christie with the help of Geshe-la. And as I said, when I went into retreat, I was given this text and kind of told to go for it, and kind of like put it together in a book format for Lama Christie. I gave it to her when I was kind of done with that part of my practice. And it's funny, even though at a certain point I'm like, okay, I'm putting Mahamudra aside, I'm going on to these other things, it informed every other thing I did. Somehow everything I did ended up Mahamudra. It was actually really funny. So it's profound, and it's like Alan Wallace's foundation teachings that I'm telling you, like if you get those, they'll like inform everything else you do. It's the same with Mahamudra. When I said I was hesitant to teach it, it's because you've kind of got to have a really good understanding of emptiness to kind of drive it in the right way, you know? So there was a part of me like, wow, that's a big responsibility, you know, like someone could take these teachings and misinterpret them, and then I will have done a disservice to the first Panchen Lama. And he became like my best friend in retreat. I don't want to let him down, you know? So, is there anyone who has never had an emptiness teaching in here? Oh, good. Oh, a couple. Okay, good. Awesome, actually. So I'll start at the basics. And this is like classic basic. You don't mess with it. Just like you don't mess with like the Rocky Horror Picture Film. There are certain things you just don't mess with. This is one of them. There are not many. What's this? Oh, okay, you could call it a pen. Yeah, I'm not trying to trick you. And if a dog comes into the room, what is it to the dog? A chew toy. Thank you for participating. A chew toy. Right. So it's just a cylinder. It's just a thing. It has no nature of its own. Our minds happen to project a story upon this thing that puts together all the pieces into something we have labeled a pen. We've defined as a pen, which is what is the definition of a pen?
That which writes.
That with which we write, right. So I can take this and I can say like, hi, you know, and it works, right, as a pen. But it could run out of ink, right? Then it wouldn't write anymore. So therefore it wouldn't have the definition of being a pen anymore. So then was it ever a pen? Or what if I just use it and just like use it to clip my hair back? Does it cease to be a pen just because I have a different use for it? You know? Is it something different because a dog comes in and sees something different? You know? Is he a dog because he sees it differently? Is that the only difference? I don't know. Maybe. But everything's like that, right? Nothing has a true nature. If this had a true nature of being a pen, that with which we write, it would never, ever run out of ink. Every single being would see it as such. It doesn't have that from its own side, right? Code classic. The same is true of your mind. The very same thing is true of your mind, you know? I don't know. Does any of you have a good definition for mind?
Clear and knowing.
Clear and knowing. So if you take a substance like alcohol, do you cease to have a mind?
No.
No. right? So the mind is the same. It has no nature of being clear and knowing from its own side. You know, if I cease to be conscious because someone hits me upside the head, do I cease to have a mind? If I want to go with a more simple definition and be like, well, no, it's my awareness. I am my awareness. Okay, well, you know, what happens when you fall asleep? You know, do you cease to exist because you are unaware? It's really quite beautiful. You know, there's nothing that exists from its own side. There's nothing that is any one way. And therefore, like the potential for everything is unimaginable. It's just unimaginable. So apply that to your mind. You know, apply it to your mind. Any conception that you have, any idea that you have of what your mind is, now just blow it out of the water and just imagine every single object on the entire universe coming from your mind, and you're creating it. Every good thing, every bad thing, everything is your mind. You know, I love the first Panchen Lama's definition of Maha Mudra. And let's see if I can get it here. He says, Maha Mudra reaches everywhere. It is the nature of everything. There are no words to describe the indivisible diamond realm of mind. That's a lot, right? That's a lot, and we'll unpack it. But first I want to just tell you, before I jump on, because I've been jumping on a lot here, I want to just tell you a little bit about His Holiness the First Panchen Lama. He's really an amazing, and he was an amazing being. He is in my heart still, so that's why I can speak of him in the present. I won't tell you his whole biography, but he's known primarily, what I think of when I think of the First Panchen Lama is peacemaker. The epitome of a peacemaker. He's known for stopping wars, going out in the middle of battlefields and just like somehow just saying the perfect thing, and people just put their guns down. Oh, I would love to have that ability, right? Wouldn't that be cool? He's known for not being attached to his particular sect of Buddhism. You know, like he's really, really cool because, and this beautiful text in particular, to me, it exemplifies his peacemaking heart, is because what he does with it is he presents 9 different schools of thought and their particular presentation of Mahamudra. Nobody did that in his time. Are you kidding? Nobody. It was all about, you know, I'll debate you, and if I beat you, then you've got to take on my form of study and my philosophy, and you've got to drop yours. You know, and he didn't do that. He said, listen, he said, how many minds are in this room? And every single one of you will need something different to get you to where you want to go on your path. And if I can present it to you, and if it's not my particular school, who cares? Who cares? I just want you to get there. Isn't that cool? I mean, it was so before his time. It was so before his time. And that's what he does in this text, you know? So hopefully that just gives you a little flavor of who he was. And hopefully you'll fall in love with him a little bit over the next 2 days, like I did. Just beautiful. So let's talk about his definition now of Mahamudra. What are we doing here? I guess the place to begin with is diamond realm of mind. let's just take the word Mahamudra, and then we'll get to Diamond Realm of Mind very quickly. It's been defined a million different ways because there's actually a million different practices that they call Mahamudra. Maha, what does Maha mean? Great. And Mudra? Seal. Seal is the typical definition. So great seal, right? So we're taught, imagine like a king's ring, and he puts his seal on that wax, and it makes it that thing that is official. It makes it, gives it value. But what the first Panchen Lama said is he defines mudra as emptiness. The fact that this thing doesn't have any nature of its own. So now it's like Mahamudra means great emptiness. The perception of emptiness, probably. So this is a path to stillness, but if you get to stillness, it's kind of the diving board to that great emptiness, which overlays everything once you've reached it. And I think that's what he means by Diamond Realm of Mind. You can reach a realm where you are so imbued with that particular deep understanding of emptiness that everything you look at is that and not that. You're nothing and everything all at once. That's Mahamudra. That's his Mahamudra. And I love that definition. So I told you, he brings in 9 different schools of thought, and each of them has actually very different paths to this Mahamudra. And he does this really beautiful thing. He says, okay, well, they look really different, these particular paths. But actually they've all got like an essence that's similar, that carries across all the different practices. And basically what that is that something which tells you to look deep into the nature of your own mind. Every single one of those practices is saying, look there's a million different objects you can use to get to emptiness, to get to stillness. But you've got the one you need right in your own head, or you think it's your head, you think it's in your head. Mind. You can use your own mind to get there. And it's like totally far out in a particular way, because aren't we trying to get beyond that, right? And isn't mind just another conception? Well, but perhaps it's that understanding that if you go after it, the process of going after that gets you really, really deep. And let me tell you, once you start doing that on the cushion, like breaking down the nature of things, and not just the nature of things, but the nature of your own mind and how it works, and every thought that crosses your mind and how it passes, and what's in between that thought, and that there's nothing in between that thought, and that that's just a thought too. Once you go really deep into that space in between there, you see your own mind for the first time. You meet your face, mind to mind. And that's his promise. That's the first Panchen Lama's promise with this text. And it's a very bold thing to say. Like, I will show you how to meet your mind face to face. Come on, you've apparently been living with this your whole life, and what is it? What is it? What does it look like? Who's in there? What's in there? And he's telling you, I'm going to show you. You're going to look in this proverbial mirror and see it and meet it for the first time. And you can use that to get to your every goal. You don't need another object. He even quotes, he has a quote in there that says, there are lamas in this lineage, in your lineage, that say you need look no further for an object than your own mind. You know, use your own mind, and it'll take you where you go. You use it to get to stillness. Use it to get beyond stillness. Yeah, I'm sorry, my computer is like jumping all around. This is funny. I just want to make sure I don't skip anything because I'm totally just like talking. There maybe was something important to say. Let's see. I've done pretty well, you'd like to know. So then what he does is he says, listen, you can use your worldview to get into deep states of meditation, or you can use deep states of meditation to drive your worldview, you know. And he says you could go either way. You know, he kind of puts it to you like that. I love him. He must have been from Brooklyn or something. Because to me in my head, when I used to talk to him, he used to be like, come on, either one. And I say that with the highest reverence. But like, then he turns around and he reminds us about what the Lama said. He says, no, the Lamas of our lineage are saying you could use your own mind. So what he's basically saying is like, you do both at the same time. You do both. You know, you use your worldview to drive your concentration, but you use your concentration to drive your worldview, and that's the upward cycle. You know, and that's why karma is important. You know, the deeper you get into meditation, the more you're like, holy cow! Like every flip of mind is like creating the next thing and creating the next thing. Like I've got to be super careful about even what's crossing my mind, and I don't even have control over that, you know. So what do? You know, and when you have the time in retreat, or if you just even, you know what, you make time in your day, your retreat time every day, you know, maybe it's just an hour every day, you can get there, you know. I went really far before retreat, and it was because I had a consistent practice. I think that's number one, consistency, by the way. I don't care if it's 15 minutes. Start there, but just do it every day at the same time. You know, because guess what? Before you know it, it'll be 20 minutes. Before you know it, your mind will want more. It's kind of like yoga. You know, I did yoga for years, and you know what? I didn't do it every day for a long time. But when I started doing it every day, I was like, oh, this is yoga. I didn't know. I've been doing it for 5 years, and I didn't know what it really was. It's exactly the same thing with meditation. Like, just meet it every day on the cushion. 5 minutes, 15 minutes, I don't care. Just be there. Meet it. And that consistency builds. It builds the strength that you need. It builds the resiliency you need. It'll build your worldview, and that worldview will protect your mind. And guess what? It'll protect the next meditation. You know? And there's no need to be afraid of what crosses your mind. What we need to get good at is just letting it go, letting it keep going, rather than grabbing at it. That's the bad thing. You know, that's where the whole emotional balance thing comes in. You know, it's like, how do we learn to just let it keep going? You know, we're all going to have those thoughts of wanting to be angry or wanting to be upset about something or jealous or something. We don't have to grab at every emotion that passes our mind. That's not us. It's not us, you know. And you can get to a place where those things just kind of roll off you, you know. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing to have peace of mind. Yeah, that's what the first Panchen Lama gave me. That's what my Lamas gave me. So the first thing he goes through in his text, first thing in his text, he talks about the 9 different schools. Then he goes through that, after that bit, and then he goes down to the basics. He basically says, okay, so this is how you sit properly in meditation seat. These are the preliminaries. These are the 5 obstacles of meditation. These are the 8 antidotes. All the really, really basic things, right? I'm not going to cover them. But it's good for you to remember. I mean, he's bringing them up for a reason. I mean, I don't care how long you've been meditating. Is your cushion the right cushion? You know, you change. I mean, after times of retreat. When I started retreat, my cushion was pretty filled. And by the end of retreat, just from sitting on it so much, it had gotten really, really down. And I didn't need to fill it up anymore. You know, it kind of grew with me in that way. So check it. You know, if you're having any discomfort, if your knees are hurting you, if anything is hurting that's kicking you out of meditation, please, please, please fix it. Try every different cushion. You ought to be able to sit and not have anything disturb you. I mean, imagine, you know, sitting for 4 hours undisturbed. Your body's not with you, and there's nothing about it that's going to pull you out. You know, that's the kind of seat you want. That's why it's one of the first things he says. You know, what's your seat? And the preliminaries, all I'm going to say is, I did them every day, a minimum of 4 times a day in retreat. I'll share this. Like, when I first started meditating, I wasn't Buddhist, you know. I was brought up a good Catholic girl. And so when I started meditating, I used Jesus as my Lama, you know. And I loved it. You know, it really worked for me for a long time. And then it became Geshe-la, and then it became Lama Christi, and then in retreat, like towards the end of retreat, it was Jesus again. It had gone through this whole cycle. It was like this full cycle, and it felt so beautiful to be back in his arms. You know, just like, there was a reason I was born Catholic, you know, and so don't feel like you have to hold to one particular image in your preliminaries, you know. Use whoever motivates you. Use whose ever energy you need in that particular time. It'll change. That's okay. You know, you're not letting anyone down by doing that. Some of my most profound experiences in retreat involved Jesus. I was born on an Easter Sunday, so I had this obsession with the resurrection, and that was big for me in retreat. You know, because in retreat it's kind of about like dying. You know, it's breaking down that sense of self over and over and over and over and over and over. I'm not lying when I said I killed or I died. I didn't kill myself. I died a million times over in retreat. And it was painful. Every time, probably. And I'm so grateful for it. You know, so when we were coming out, getting ready to come out of retreat, it's like, how do you come out of retreat when you don't exist, like you thought, you know, like who are you for the world? What are you? Like, you know, it's like being pushed out and being naked or something, you know, it's like, wait a minute, what's the clothes I'm supposed to wear? It felt like that. And I really had to take that resurrection theme back and be like, okay, I broke this thing down so much. Who am I? Who am I for the world? Who do they need? And that's what it came down to. Is like I walked over that line out of retreat totally naked, like not literally, but just like I need to be clear about that. Apparently, but like being like, who do you need? Meeting the faces on the other side of that gate. Like, who do you need? Who are you? And what do you need? Who do you need me to be? I want to be that. That's all. And it's a really beautiful place to be. To just want that. So then he says, the first Panchen Lama, he says, so next fix yourself in the 7-pointed posture. And we all know that, right? You're going to watch your legs, make sure they're comfortable. And again, you're going to find what's comfortable for you. You might have to switch it up once in a while. The big thing in retreat was like, you got to do it in lotus, and you've got to really like be in it for a long time. And I was like, okay, well, I'll try it, you try everything in retreat. And so I went into meditation in lotus, and it didn't hurt. It didn't kick me out of meditation, but I came out like 3 hours later, and I couldn't get out of it. It was really funny. I'm like, oh boy, like no one's around to help me, and I'm like stuck like this. I'm like, could I walk to over to someone's cabin like this? I don't know. But literally, it was the strangest feeling to be like, it didn't hurt. I just couldn't get out. And so I figured it probably wasn't the best posture for me. But but you have to try. Guess it was crazy energy. It was really powerful to do it that way. But you can hurt your knees. My knees were more important to me at that time, and still are. But if it works for you, that's great. Then he says, then clear away the mental chatter with the 9-fold cycle of breath. Now this is new. This is not normal. Okay, he's saying, as a preliminary to meditation, do a pranayama, basically, and that's really far out, and it just so happens I did exactly what he said. I did it for all 3 years. I did this mindful breath, so I want to share it with you. Okay, we'll do it, and then, where's my picture? Then we'll look through a picture. So I'll explain it to you, we'll do it, and then we'll take a break, I promise. Okay? This is my picture. Okay, so what this involves is, just in case you aren't familiar with these particular teachings, it said that you've got this energy in your body. It's true. And it flows through you like the breath flows in and out of you. Prana, chi. Call it whatever you want. It's this life force within you. And it said that all of our misconceptions come because they're running down 2 side channels rather than the central channel. Okay? So you've got this right channel, and it starts like here, right around your nostril. It goes over the top of your head and down your back. It runs about, it doesn't touch, so the central channel runs right in front of where the spine runs. Okay, so these side channels are a little bigger, and they're not even an inch away, but they're not touching. Okay, so it starts down here, and it right kind of about 4 finger lengths below your navel. It hooks. I don't know if you guys can see that. Can you see that? No, maybe. Mm-hmm. So it hooks like a candy cane, and then it meets, and that little point where the 3 meet, it's called a triveni. And it meets at the chakra. There's the Swadhisthana chakra. So the right one is called the Pingala, and it's where all of your, they say, like your misperceptions of ignorant dislike them. Okay, says red, it's all like that anger, all that frustration, all of those things run there in that channel. And then the left one is a white one, kind of like milky white, opaque. And again, it runs on the left side of the body, same thing, up the side of the head, down about 4 finger lengths below your navel. Candy cane hooks there at the Svadhisthana. And this one is said where all your misperceptions of ignorant liking exist there. So anytime you have, craving for ice cream that you can't make go away, it's because you have some wind running in that channel. And if you're really frustrated at your partner or something, that's running in your right. So the cool thing about yoga is that a lot of what's going on in yoga is to move those winds out of the side channel into the central channel. It's said that if all of your winds are running in the central channel, you'll no longer have any misconceptions. We can live in that diamond realm of mind that His Holiness the First Panchen Lama was telling us about in the definition of Maha Mudra. Okay, so this is really powerful. Like, even to share this with you guys is like a big deal. So, my God, do it any time of the day when you're having any kind of mental affliction. So this is the way it begins. They call it 9-point breath because at a basic level, you do 3, okay? So you do 3, 3, and then 3. You breathe in through the right, and you don't have to hold it like in normal pranayama. This time you just imagine it. Imagine breathing in, it goes up this right channel, all the way down, then it hooks like a candy cane, and then you exhale, and it goes up. It goes up that left channel all the way out, and then out the opposite nostril. Okay? So what it's clearing that left channel. You begin inhaling on the right, but then you're breathing out the left, and it's when you're breathing out that you're clearing. So that first round of 3, you're clearing all of that ignorant desire out. It's not a bad thing to desire, okay, at all. I mean, we desire a goal, right? I desire to get to stillness. That's a great desire, but it can also be a mental affliction, at some point. So, it's just a point at which you, Geshe-la always says, the point at which you would hurt someone to get it. I think that's a good rule of thumb. But, it's the point at which it causes any kind of mental affliction, when it becomes any kind of obsession, when it disturbs your body anyway at all. And in retreat, you can get so subtle that it's like, oh wow, like that side channel's really blocked. What subtle thought is there that I maybe not even aware of that I need to clear? So the first 3, inhale through the right, exhale through the left. Then the next 3 breaths, inhale through the left, exhale through the right. And that's getting rid of all the ignorant dislike, okay? All of that anger, all of that frustration, all of that, all of those negative thoughts. So 3, 3, and then the last round of 3, you inhale through the 2 side channels, so both nostrils. Again, you're just imagining, right? You're not holding. So inhale through the 2 nostrils, down the 2 side channels, big hook like candy canes, into that central channel, and then it just goes up and out. So the exhale is up that central channel, and then it goes out here between your eyebrows. Okay? And you do that 3 times. And that's a big blessing for getting all the winds into the central channel. Again, anytime you're feeling off balance, use it. It'll help you get balanced. Honestly, it's a beautiful, beautiful practice. I did it every time before meditation just to make sure my mind was in the right place, so that I could hopefully have a good meditation, and I want to just say, probably, but because of the blessing of my lamas and His Holiness the First Panchen Lama, in those 3 years, there was never a day I didn't want to get on my cushion. every day I knew that was a blessing. Every day I knew that karma could shift. I knew it. I totally knew how fragile that was. You know, and I think this helped some. Okay, maybe. So you got it? You got the picture? Does everybody, does this help? Okay, so remember, in through the right, out through the left for 3. In through the left and out through the right for 3. And then in through both, out through the central for 3. So when you're clearing out, the first 3 rounds are to clear out ignorant liking. The next 3 are for clearing out ignorant disliking. And the last is to get those into the central channel. Yeah? Okay. So get into a comfortable seating position, meditation posture. Any questions before we begin? We good? Okay. Most important thing is to have your back completely straight. The shoulders back and down, completely relaxed. No tension in your hands. No tension in your eyes. So remember, this first round is to clear out ignorant disliking. It'll go in through the right channel, which is red, and out through the left, which is white. So on your next inhale, inhale through that right nostril, over the top of the head, all the way down, hooks, and then breathe out that left channel all the way up, and it exits that left nostril. Clearing out all your ignorant liking. Do it again, twice more on your own. So any craving that's been bugging you, all of it has been cleared out. You would keep going until it was all cleared out if you were on your own. We'll switch now to the other side. So on your next inhale, you're going to inhale through the left, up and all the way down. And it hooks, and then you exhale through the right. All the way up and out that right nostril. Purifying all your ignorant dislikes, all your anger. Do it twice more on your own. Imagine all your ignorant dislike has been completely cleared. Your heart no longer holds anger, frustration. Now in the next one, you inhale through the 2 nostrils, all the way up. That breath travels down. The 2 channels hook into that central channel. And then breathe out that central channel. It comes out in that place between your eyebrows. And do it on your own twice more. So when you do it through and out, that central channel, it's as if all the air has gone out of those side channels, they've collapsed. And imagine just for a sec before you open your eyes that all the wind is just in that central channel, and that you no longer have any mental afflictions, that maybe finally for the first time you just feel peace. What would that feel like? Offer that feeling to every being on the planet, in the universe. Let the rays shoot out of your heart and just like give it away. Imagine the rays come back into your heart. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Super simple, but super profound. It's really an important one. So go ahead and take a break. Sorry. Maybe just 10 minutes? Yeah? I'll try to be. Okay.